Hello everyone, Ceia here. A bit of a two in one video today, I guess. Okay, so what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna do a quick proof of concept as usual for Lainie, however you pronounce her name. So what's gonna happen? So here's the thing, right? With Lane, I'm just gonna call her Lane, right? She is kind of a physical element DPS right now. She's not going to be the hyper carry similar to what Robella or just Ro. You know what happened with Ro last patch. Same thing with her, right? V0 and V1 or Dupe 1 or Dupe 0 are completely serviceable. And the firepower goes up to Dupe 3, and then the next Dupe breakpoint is at Dupe 6. So it's been happening since Nikita. They've been using this concept, which is pretty nice. Most players don't need Dupe 3, Dupe 6. Most players can stay at Dupe 0, and they pretty much have a full kit. And if they want to invest a little bit more, they can go for Dupe 1. So that's very nice. So, Lainie, right? She needs to be in a physical team, and she needs Yoohee to support her. Without Yoohee, Lainie does like a lot less DPS, maybe about 30% or so. And if you can pair her with Faye. Faye does the laceration debuff, which is more physical damage equals more damage, right? And if you have Daiyan, you could use her as a sub DPS pair with Lainie and Papasha if you need it, if you need her. If you need more healing, you can slot in just any healer that doesn't do elemental damage. The best one will actually just be Coffin. Yeah. I've also tried this funny team, right? Put all of the UMP sisters together. It's not gonna work. You can, but it's not gonna work. Yeah. So just let me go to the simulator, and I'll just walk you guys through her kit. So Lainie, right? Lainie, whatever. So how her kit is, she has a summon, which is her clone, right? Simulacrum clone or whatever. So she's gonna just copy what her Simulacrum will do is just to copy whatever she does, and the Simulacrum has her own skill set. Yeah. So rotation is pretty simple. You do an ultimate to summon the clone, and you can use anybody else from here. So what I usually do, Yoohee ult, get everybody buffed. And this, summoning the clone first, right, allows Yoohee to buff her as well, so that's very important. Also keep in mind my Yoohee is Dupe 3, so she's gonna be doing a lot more dancing than usual. Yeah. So what I actually do next is do skill 1 for Faye to get the laceration stacks up. Yeah, because she has 6 CI, right? 6 form factors index, right? She will give 6 stacks of this physical damage buff. Then from here you can just DPS. So usually there's a Papasha, and then we have Daiyan. Then from here you can you usually want to use Lainie's summon to do the skills. From what I understand from the CN guys, it does more damage. I have no idea how. If you guys can figure out how, just let me know. Also, why is the guy not hitting Daiyan? Funny guy. Anyway, yeah. So from here it's very simple. This BS, this buff. Then I'll just move Daiyan here. Why not? So you can move the clone as well. You don't have to put her on the same place. Oh yeah, one more thing. If you guys noticed, Lainie can't use her skill 1 and 2 like continuously, right? She has to rotate between 1 and 2 between turns. That's just how her kit is. You can remove this restriction at Dupe 6, unfortunately, so that she can spam skill 1 as her single target skill. So it's meant for bossing. It's pretty obvious. So with that in mind, right, if you don't really need Dupe 6 as usual, come on guys, Dupe 6 is not everything. So yeah. And then from here I'll just use the clone again to do the skills. Come on, shoot Daiyan. Okay. Okay, so turn 4, this is where Yoohee refreshes the buff. So dance, dance, dance. So Lane and Yoohee are pretty much a pair because Lane does all the defense trading and Yoohee does all the physical damage buffing, and if you can, bring Faye as well for the laceration buffs, laceration stacks. The laceration stacks is pretty important. One stack of laceration is like what, 8%? Physical 8%. No, sorry, that's the wrong debuff. This one. So the enemy can take 30% physical damage up to 8 stacks. So that's pretty nuts by itself, right? So you kind of want Faye in this team and Yoohee in this team. Then that's pretty much the 3-member composition that's locked in, right? And from there, who else can you put in? You can't put in any elemental units because elemental units will disable Yoohee's passive, or not his passive, Yoohee's skill, which is to allow physical damage to do more damage. Physical damage units to do more damage, yeah. So you're kind of forced to do more physical for if you want to try out 40 and Yoohee. So it's unfortunately the case. But like I said, if you wanna put all the UMP sisters together, you can. It's just not optimal, but the game is so easy anyway. Who needs to play optimally, right? Hey, speaking of difficulty, right? The Ceian servers actually just got the EX mode for the stories. It's pretty alright, provided you don't be a boring person and just run V6 Klukai and Stringfield and Zomi and whatever and just steamroll the map, right? So I think the difficulty needs a little bit more scaling, but otherwise I think it's pretty decent on its own already. So yeah, EX mode is EX mode. If you guys have V0, V1 dolls, you guys might be in trouble in terms of not requiring to think. But otherwise it's pretty fun. Right, like the enemies pretty much you pretty much need to use the cover because if you're out of position, the enemies will take the opportunity to one-shot your dolls. So that's the thing. And you can do the same for the opponent, of course. They have the same kind of problem as if you're playing EX mode, I'm assuming you're gonna be one-shotting the enemies. So that's the thing with the EX mode. It's a good addition, I appreciate it, but I think it needs a little bit more scaling, but I'm afraid that if you scale it up anymore, it's gonna be not doable, undoable, you know, for the newer players, and or I'll not say newer players, but the players that want to do EX mode but don't want to get overwhelmed and whatever. So yeah, that's the issue I potentially see with the EX mode. And another problem is the lack of rewards in EX mode. I don't think there's any rewards at all, so that's the thing. Overall, I think GFL2 is going in a pretty alright direction. I'm not sure about the building of the characters. I'm not sure about the banner sequence in the end. It just looks a bit weird, you know. But anyway, damage spread, it's like this because Daiyan's holding maximum Dupe Planeta, so that's something. And Lainie here is running is V0 R1, you know. That's the, and yeah. And Yoohee here is V3, so the damage is pretty spread out. But it's pretty decent, I would say. Anyway, one more thing before I end this video up. I just want to mention one thing if you are planning to build Lainie. Yeah? Which is her attachment build. I just need to mention it real quick. So her passive here, for every 12 points of maximum HP, initial maximum HP, so before buffs, before map buffs and whatever, critical rate is increased by 0.1% up to 30%. So you naturally kind of want to build some HP, but you shouldn't overbuild HP at the same time. Also, one more thing, there's this thing here, which is to if defense is smaller, lower or equals to 0, the damage multiplier is increased for the skills. Also, the next part of the skill is for increased by 10% of max of initial max HP. Yeah, so you kind of want to build some HP here because you want to increase the multiplier of the skills, right? If you want to move up to Dupe 3, it becomes up to 60% crit rate for every 6 points of max HP, initial max HP, right? And this thing is multiplier becomes 20%. The damage multiplier increase, it becomes the initial max HP of 20%. So what some folks have already calculated ish is to farm some max HP pieces for Lainie, which is, yeah, sounds weird, right? But that's what they've been saying. So the muzzle, stick it as it is, attack percentage, crit rate, crit damage. But you kind of want to farm max HP percentage for your other attachments. So attack percentage and HP percentage if possible. If you don't have HP percentage, you can run HP flat. Or if you don't have either, you can just run the normal one. I don't have that much, so that's what it is. Anyway, that's how the physical team looks like right now. It is alright, it is usable, it is. Would it be as powerful as the fire team in Gunsmoke, or even the electric team, or even the hydro corrosion team? It remains to be seen, but My assumption would be that it will not be as powerful as those other compositions in terms of raw DPS. Yeah, because you have Nikita and Tololo in the Hydro team. They have Kukai V6 in the corrosion side of things. You have Leva, which is extremely powerful right now in Gunsmoke, especially at V6. So yeah, there's a lot of challenges for Lainie to overcome, but I don't think she'll be the hyper carry. I think the hyper carry for the ice team and the physical team is left to somebody that we are very familiar with, right? Because Raw is considered is most likely I will call it a sub DPS for the ice team, and now Lainie is a sub DPS for the physical team. So if they want to release hyper carries for these two elements, it's pretty obvious what they are trying to do. If you guys can guess it, good for you. You guys have the same wavelength as me, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that Mika's trying to save the big hitters to be their DPS hyper carries. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Okay. I'll be releasing the Gunsmoke thingy as usual when it opens up in 2 days from this video's release. So stay tuned for that. And yeah. This time I don't think there will be a V6R6 laning for Lone though. I think it'll be a V6R1 because a certain hyper will in our guild, I don't think he's gonna commit to it, to Lainie V6R6. So let's see. Anyway, thanks guys for sticking around with and enduring my ranting. Alright, see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.